What's up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Friday Night Live with me, Pastor Frank. As always, I'm so excited that you all could join me for another Friday night. Um, is anybody excited? Is anybody's 2024 going well? I hope it is. I know mine is. And I'm always excited and I look forward to all the great things that's in store, you all. I don't know about y'all, but it's just something about newness, right? When we start off a new year, I mean, I'm just full of hope. Maybe it's the creative side of me. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, all I know is God is good. And he made us, he helped us get through yet another week. I know some of y'all had a rough week, but guess what? We made it, y'all, to yet another Friday night. And so do me a favor as y'all are coming in. As always, don't forget to like, don't forget to tag, and don't forget to share this post with some people. Yeah, come on. As you coming on in, come on in, come on in. And don't forget, if you really feeling me, go ahead and drop me a line in the comments. Talk back to me. Let me know who's online. Let me know who's watching and where you're watching from. Listen, I am so excited. As y'all know, this is a whole new year that we done kicked off. But tonight, y'all, I mentioned it last week. Tonight we will be talking about transition decisions. Yeah, transitions. Some of that in between space where a lot of us find ourselves wanting to do something else, but kind of feeling stuck and not really sure what to do or where to go or what steps to take. And in typical fashion for a lot of us, we kind of end up staying in that place or getting stuck in that place because we really don't know what to do. But the reality is, you all, if we don't learn how to get unstuck, right, our 2024 will look exactly like 2023. And so I'm so excited, you all, because as y'all know, 2024 has already started off with a bang. I mean, I'm talking about from Puff Daddy to Cat Williams to just recently Stephen A. Smith and even the Jeffrey Epstein list, but we ain't gonna get in all of that. But here's what I know, you all. One thing is still for certain. Don't none of that stuff got anything to do with us. At the end of the day, no matter what those cats got going on, none of it has anything to do with us. And I say this because you are, while there's nothing wrong with being aware of what's happening in the world, it's an entirely different matter when the trending topics, watch this, become a distraction in our everyday lives. You see, one of the things I've learned over the years is that distractions don't appear as distractions until, watch this, we've already been distracted. And the truth is, for many of us, we don't have time to waste any more time as we're trying to figure out how to get unstuck and embrace the necessary changes that we all need so that we can make our next move. So tonight, you all, I'm so excited tonight, you all. We have a special guest joining us all the way from here in Chicago. My brother is joining us tonight. He is the author of a soon to be New York Times best-selling book entitled Transition Decisions. And I don't know about y'all, but I can use some help, some practical guidance, some practical insight on how to make those necessary changes. And so without further ado, come on, y'all. I need to hear y'all. I want to welcome to Friday Night Live to the Redwood Studios. Y'all put your hands together. And in the words of Steve Harvey, show your love for my brother, for my friend, Pastor Shaun Marshall. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, big brother? How you feeling, man?
Man, listen, I am so excited. We have made it not just to a new year, but God has seen us through to the end of another week. And so I'm always excited. I'm also excited because you're my first guest, bro.
I'm so honored. I am so honored.
Man, and so man, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say, but when I came up with the title, transition decisions, which I'm putting it out there, folks. Y'all hearing it? I already told him. I stole the idea and the topic for tonight from his book. Right? I was trying to come up with different ideas for every episode, as I was going through my formatting, and I had his book right there because it's a great book. I was like, you know what, transition decisions would be great, and so I was going to talk about it, but then I was like, as a matter of fact, how about just get Pastor Shaun to come on and share a little bit about his book, right? And so, but I don't want to get a whole book away because they got to get their own copy. Like, I mean, here I go. Like, I got his man right here. So in the words of that, I'm telling my age, but it was a commercial back in the day where they was playing music and they was playing the hits. And I remember when the guy was like, "Say, man, let me borrow that." And he was like, "No, my brother, you got to get your own."
That's
So
hilarious.
So yeah, even though I'm telling my age, listen, you all, it is a must read for all of us. Who I mean, the reality is we all struggle with change, and so I want to just jump right in because usually what we do, Pastor Sean, is I just come on for a few minutes, drop a couple of nuggets to give us something to think about, some food for thought as we go into our weekend to help us reflect as we're all trying to prepare for whatever God has next for us. And
Yeah,
so when I was reading the book, one of the things that out the gate that stuck out to me is the book was inspired by Uncle Leo,
that's right.
and so but so my question to you would be, what was it about that particular moment or that encounter that you had with Uncle Leo that inspired you to even put a book together or decide you wanted to write a book?
Yeah, man, absolutely. And thank you again for having me on this platform tonight. I love you, brother. I believe in you, and I'm honored to be your first guest. Yeah, so what inspired me is, and I talk about it in the book, but Uncle Leo had been through a lot of issues in life. He found his brother dead in the alley,
Mm,
and I think that really messed him up, right? So he started drinking, and like in '83, when his brother died, he started drinking, and he literally never stopped. I
wow.
mean, he got to the point where his alcoholism, and it's a miracle, really, that he's alive to this day.
Wow.
It's
Shout
been
out
an
to Uncle Leo.
absolutely love you, but but for years, just drunk, waking up in the morning drunk. And
Mm,
so I was home from college uh, one Christmas, and I was getting ready to go back after the
mhm.
holidays, after the New Year's, and I decided I was going to go see my grandmother, who's my father's mother. Uncle Leo is my father's brother.
Yeah.
And so I was going to see my grandmother, to, speak to them, my aunt, my great grandmother, before I left. And I pull up, and it's snowing, and it's like, it's Snowzilla, it's Chicago, right? So
Right.
it's like 20 inches or whatever, and it's still snowing. I got to get on the road, so I say I'm just gonna stop by real quick. I pull up, Uncle's on the porch, and it's sub-zero freezing weather. He's on the porch with a light jacket, you know, with something in his hand that he's drinking.
Right.
And I say, "What's up, Unc? How you doing?"
He had a little community.
You know, and and so I go in the house. I spend a little time, and when I come back out, you know, he's still pretty much drunk, but he's coming down now from it,
Right.
right? So now he's sitting there with a cigarette, and anybody who knows, you move you graduate from the drink to the cigarette, you know. So he's sitting there with a cigarette, and I get in my car, and when I get in my car to pull off, the wheels are spinning,
Mm.
and as the wheels spin, I realize I am stuck. I'm not going nowhere. I put my feet on the gas. I got a full tank of gas.
Wow.
This is a brand new car that my mother's mother had just given me.
Right.
And I can't go nowhere. And it's snowing. And I got to be back at school because classes start like the next day or something like that. So before I know it, while I'm trying to figure this whole thing out, hit a knock on my window. It's Uncle Leo. Roll your window down. So I roll my window down. He says, "Come on, let's dig." I say, "Huh?" He says, and by the way, he's talking in legible, like understandable language.
Wow.
I had never not seen my uncle in all my years of knowing him. I was in my early 20s at the time. I had never not seen my uncle in some kind of inebriated state.
Wow.
But he had come off that porch. He saw what was going on, and he brought me two things. He brought me a bag of salt and a shovel.
Mm.
And he poured some salt behind the wheels that were spinning in the back. And he said, "All right, now, this is what I want you to do. We're gonna dig around the tires." And
Right.
we dug the snow from the tires and the slush from around the tires. And then we put that salt down. And then he said, "Now I want you to get back in your car." I'm still tripping because
Right.
we're having a conversation. "I want you to get back in your car. And when you get back in the car, you're gonna tap the gas and he taught me how to rock it back and forth so I could get
Right.
out of a
Gotta
spot,
gotta
right?
rock it. Gotta
Yeah,
rock it.
you gotta rock it. And you live in Chicago, you know what this means.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And so when I pull out of the space, he slams on the trunk and he says, "I'm gonna put this shovel and this bag of salt in your trunk." And he said to me, "Never be anywhere in this car without a bag of salt and a shovel so you can get unstuck when you need to."
Ooh, that's a word right there.
And what blessed me about that moment, and why I'll always remember this moment forever, is my uncle saw that I was stuck and he loved me enough to come out of his drunken state to
Wow.
sober up so he
Wow.
could help me shift.
Yeah. That's good right there. That's good right there.
Yep.
Like literally. So I ain't gonna lie. When I was reading the book, I got so many other nuggets, and I got a bunch of sermons, possibly a couple of conferences. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm putting it out there now. People, if y'all ever hear you read his book, and later on you see me doing something, y'all already know. I'm putting it out there. I'm not shamed, right? Y'all ain't gonna Cat Williams me and shame me and say I stole this from Pastor Sean. I'm putting it out there now. I done stole so much stuff
I'm
from
gonna be
out
on
this
a podcast.
book.
I'm be on a podcast
Um,
talking about he stole it from me.
you know, and I don't have a toupee on my head, but I have my real hair. But I'm just saying, you
No,
know,
bro, this is the best kind of stealing. Bless you.
bruh.
I love
But
it.
one of the things that I love, even when as I was reading, and even just especially Uncle Leo's story, it was just something about um that whole thing when the way you illustrated it of even now, right? We all have been in a situation in life where we felt stuck, right? And unfortunately, for many of us, we either don't accept the help from those who God may send to help us, and we may find ourselves in a state of being stuck or in that in between space. But it's just so many nuggets, and so um, just real quick as we get ready to like in this segment, because I know people got to get ready for their weekend. What is it that if you could leave, like three quick points, like something real quick, three quick points of something practical that people could do as we're trying to navigate right transition decisions. Right, there's some people who they're like, man, I just really feel like God has more for me, but I don't know what to do, or they're feeling whether it be a job situation, whether it be a relationship situation. For some people, it may be a matter of they're looking to change career, or they're looking to move to another state, like physically.
Yeah.
What would you say to them if there's someone listening to us right now that's dealing with how do I embrace or figure out how do I adjust to transition?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. And what I say about transition is we use the words change and transition
Mm,
interchangeably, but they're actually different, right? So change is what's going to happen whether we do anything or not,
Oh
right?
wow.
The world is going to change. You keep on living. The old folks will say, "An old man's coming to your door." You're gonna grow older whether you grow or not.
That's good.
And so, but transition is a process, and change can be what happens to us, but transition is how we respond.
That's
And
good.
if I were to give 3 points, I would say this. Number one, you have to decide to grieve, right?
Mm,
And in chapter one, I talk about the decision to leave, because a lot of times we're stuck because we don't know how to let go of the ending.
yeah.
We don't know how to really get from here to there. It requires us to let go of comfort, to let go of familiarity, to stop bargaining with loss, to stop
Yeah.
trying, that old song, Regina Bell, make it like it was the way it used to
Right. Right.
be. It's a decision to reconcile that there are some things that just won't be anymore, that the world changes and we get stuck because we can't accept the change. But to be able to accept changes, we have to learn to let go. We have to grieve
Wow.
it. We have to acknowledge how we're feeling about the things that we're losing and ending. Second thing is you got to decide to grow.
Yeah.
So I talk about how I had to learn how to be a new version of the same Shaun Marshall I've always been.
That's good.
And
Right.
they don't teach us this in school, right? Like my name is always going to be Shaun Marshall, but I cannot go through life being the same Shaun Marshall I was at 10,
Yeah.
being the same Shaun Marshall I was at 15, making the same decisions in the same way as
Right.
I made them when I was in my 20s and in my 30s. So you have to decide that as you move through changes, that you be willing to change the way you think, to grow in your perspectives, to grow in your ideas, to grow in what you actually do practically, uh,
Yeah.
to respond to change, to decide you're not just going to be sitting there waiting for the world to change.
Right.
You're actually going to give it some strategic thought. You're
Yeah.
actually going to say, let me see what I have and what I can do with what I have to get where I need to be. Right. That's
Yeah.
part of the growth process. And then finally, I would just say, at some point, you're going to have to decide to go.
Mm,
Sometimes the only thing standing between us and the next space that we belong in life
yeah.
is our willingness to move our feet away from where we are.
Wow.
Sometimes you just have to be willing to get up and start moving. You may not have all the information. You may not have all of the perspective. You may
Yeah.
not have all of the answers. But sometimes you only see that stuff. You only see the next step when you take the first step. So at some
Wow.
point, you got to stop making excuses for why you can't. You got to stop making excuses for what you wish you could have done or what you wish you were going to do, and recognize that your future requires you to show up.
Yeah.
And when we do previews for movies, there's a reason why they don't show you hour-long previews of movies.
Yeah.
That's defeating the purpose.
Yeah.
Most movie previews, now when we were younger, they were 2 minutes. They
Right.
were long. Yeah. Now most movie previews are like 10, 15 seconds. Why? Because they are showing you just enough information to get you to show up.
Wow.
And sometimes life is like that. All we have is enough information to make the decision. Let me get up from where I am and go do something else. So you got
Wow.
to decide to grieve, to grow, and to go.
Wow. Man, bro, I thank you for coming on tonight for sharing some nuggets with us with the Friday Night Live crew. Listen, y'all, we getting ready to get up out of here, but for those of you all who really want to still connect with Pastor Shaun, listen, I have his information listed on the screen. If you're not following him, make sure you're following him on Instagram at S. Douglas Marshall. Also on Facebook at Shaun Marshall. But then I'm listening. He has some wonderful, great things going on YouTube. I need you to go and subscribe to his YouTube channel at Your Next Move Now. So who is it that needs to go and follow Pastor Shaun? Anybody who is struggling with transition decisions, right? Which is all of us, right? All of us are looking forward to making our next move now. And so you all, I really want to encourage us, and I just want to drop something on us as we're getting ready to go into this new weekend, right? I want to encourage all of us to take some time and reflect, you all. What are the things that we may need to let go of, right? And then what are some of the practical, tangible ways and things that we can do, right? That means we literally have to put action behind what we're thinking about. We have to literally strategize. You all heard me say this the other week, right? If God wants to move you to another country, you don't have a passport. So what are some tangible steps you can take in order to get that passport, right? So for you, what are the really practical ways and steps that you can take to prepare for whatever your next move is? Why? So that because we all desire to see a certain level of change. And as I stated, 2024 will be a repeat of 2023 if we don't take the necessary steps to make our next move. Listen, you all, as always, I appreciate you all for tuning in. And I hope to see you next Friday night live. As we'll be talking about change that matters. I got another guest coming on. Y'all will hear more about it on next week or in the next couple of days. I'll be posting who's gonna be on in the next couple of days. And so listen, I love y'all. I gotta get out of here. There's nothing you can do about it. See y'all next week. Peace out.